This is Sports Drive.
Welcome back into Sports Drive. Once again, I'm your host, Preston Moore. Mentioned earlier, we're talking a little bit about some sports that have finished up their seasons. Just recently, actually, is the high school tennis season. Joining me to talk a little bit about their performance at state is the head coach of the Amarillo High tennis team, Koby Otto. Coach Otto, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk a little bit of Amarillo High tennis with you. The state tournament was just this past weekend, or not this past weekend, last week. And you guys were down there. Obviously, you've had a number of years with plenty of success at the state tournament over the course of your career. And I think the biggest takeaway from Amarillo High this past state tournament last week was Sarah Shellhammer making it to the state final and earning that silver medal. Talk to me a little bit about the whole experience, really, and about Shellhammer's performance.
Yeah, we had a great state tournament down there in San Antonio. We took Sarah, obviously. She's a sophomore, made it last year as a freshman. She was in girls doubles, and then we brought a mixed doubles team also this year. Halle Rose and Bear Stroud, both juniors. So all three of those will be returning next year. And Sarah, she had to win three really tough matches. Her first round match down there in San Antonio lasted almost 4 hours. Played a girl from Leander, and Sarah had to save 2 match points in the third set before finally pulling it out. And then just an hour and a half later, she had to play one of the toughest girls in the state of Texas from Frisco, Ella Wirtz. And, I was concerned about Sarah's, whether her legs were going to hold up. But, man, I mean, she played tremendously, beat Ella in straight sets. And then in the semifinals, she beat another really good opponent before she played the finals against Hope Willis from Abilene Wiley. So it was a great tournament for her. She just kept fighting. She never wavered in her confidence, and a great showing for her. My mixed doubles teams, Halle and Bear, they also won their first match at state in a 3-set match. It lasted just a little over 3 hours, so they were tested to their max. And then in the state quarterfinal, they ran up against a really good team from College Station, and they got beat, but man, they showed a lot of heart, a lot of fight. Down 5-2 in the second set, brought it all the way back up to a tiebreaker in that second set, and then lost it 7-5. So tremendous way to cap the season for Amarillo High tennis. I'm so proud of them and all of the players, the seasons we've had.
Absolutely. And, you mentioned some players that'll be returning next year, but one person who won't be returning next year, we just talked about a little bit in the break, is yourself, calling it a career after this season. And Coach Otto, you've been there for a while, and you've had, like I mentioned, plenty of success. If you could it's almost an impossible question to answer, so I apologize in advance for putting you in this position. But if you could, in summation, kind of wrap up your career with Amarillo High tennis as you look back, now officially calling it a career. You mentioned today is your last day. When you look back at your career, how would you describe your time with Amarillo High tennis?
I've been asked that question, and the one singular word that comes to mind for me personally is blessed. I've been blessed to have just tremendous athletes, that have bought into what I wanted to do there at Amarillo High. We had to do some, really tough culture shifts early on, and our kids bought in there. But I'm also blessed to have the most amazing support from the parent group there at Amarillo High, and that's been consistent for all the years I've been there. And then, of course, administration, they go above and beyond to give us the opportunities to take these kids around the state of Texas to compete. And that's Amarillo High administration, that's athletic administration, and all the way up to the superintendent, Doug Loomis. They recognize that our kids are willing to get out there and put everything they have into it, and that myself and the assistant coaches we've had over the years, we're just willing to do whatever it takes to give these kids opportunities, and we have been supported beyond what I could have ever expected when I took that job.
Well, Coach, I don't know if you and I have spoken about this. We might have. I'm actually an Amarillo High graduate from 2017, and I never had you in class. You were never one of my teachers. I wasn't a tennis player, and so you and I didn't really cross paths at all. I did see you in the hallway a couple times, and I can say that some of my friends at the time, when I was in high school, I did hear about you a couple times from some of my friends who played tennis, and I only ever heard positive things from the high schoolers' perspective. And I think that says a lot about a coach, because you really never, you can know, but also sometimes you don't know how certain kids are going to react to the things you're teaching them, to your mentoring. And I can say from my experience and what I heard from my friends at the time, looking back 9 years ago, that you were having a positive impact on your players. What was your mission when you think about, going into coaching? And obviously there's so much you can teach kids on the tennis court, but there's plenty you can teach kids off the tennis court. What was your mission going into coaching, and how do you feel like you accomplished it looking back?
Well, the reason I got into coaching was when I was coming to Palo Duro as a sophomore. I just picked up the game. I'd have been playing less than a year, and my coach at that time, Jackie Bridges, I don't know really what he saw, but he saw something in me. And, he was incredibly encouraging. And in all honesty, the belief he had in me changed my life. I'm not sure where the path was that I was on, but it was not on where I needed to be. And, he changed my life. And my sophomore year is when I decided I wanted to go into coaching. I wanted to coach tennis, because if I could have any type of impact, anything close to what Coach Bridges had for me, then I was going to be successful. And so that's been my mission. We've had incredible success at PD and at Amarillo High, and I'm really proud of all those state championships, district championships, regional championships. But it's the relationships I've built over the years with players, and the fact that they come back and talk about their experiences and the positive memories they have within my program. That's what I've always wanted. And when I announced my retirement in April, I've heard from so many of those players, so many former players, and it's been incredible. It's been emotional, truly, to hear such positive words coming from those players. And that's all I wanted. I just wanted to be somebody in those kids' lives that they knew believed in them, loved them, and someone that they could come talk to at any point. And I still do. I have my Palo Duro players from 25 years ago that will still call or stop by, and that's the most rewarding thing from this career.
Absolutely. Well, Coach Otto, appreciate you coming on to the show. Congratulations on a successful season this year, and obviously a successful career at Amarillo High. I think it's safe to say that you accomplished your mission and leaving an impact on plenty of kids over the course of the decades. We really appreciate you coming on the show, talking a little bit about it. I'm sure we'll have you on the show again. I know you're calling it a career now, but I'm sure we'll have you on again just to kind of talk a little bit more about your whole career and look back. I would love to do that at some point over the summer, but for now we're going to cut to break. But we really appreciate you coming on the show and talking a little Amarillo High tennis. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you, Preston. I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. We'll be right back with more Sports Drive after this break.